Hi, welcome back for day 2 in our second standard for properties related to angles. Okay, so yesterday we only covered angle bisectors, and today we're going to cover the angle addition postulate and the linear pair theorem. Okay, so after today, you will have enough information to be successful with 3 of these ideas, and just need to make sure you do the practice to be able to apply each of those in order to write equations to solve for missing values and or angles using algebra. Okay, and that already puts you at a level 1 for our standard 2. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at what this means. Okay, so in our first 2 examples, I would like you to take a look at these. Okay, our first one just says find the measure of angle ABC. So a reminder, the M in front means measure. ABC is important because that means it's angle B, okay? But it doesn't mean it's this angle or this angle here. ABC, is the whole big angle. So it's all the way from here to here. So anybody tell me what the measure of that angle is? We would need to add the measure of ABD to the measure of DBC, which would be 65 plus 35, giving me a total of 100. Did anybody get that? Okay, and then go ahead and do the same here. Again, you can always pause it. Okay, but I give you the measure of angle ABC is 110, so that's why I went ahead and marked that. The whole angle from ABC for ABC is 110. Okay, in the drawing, you're also given the measure of angle ABD is 70 degrees. Okay, so what would you do to get that? And what do you get? Okay, so what you should do is take the total angle of 110 degrees and subtract the 70, and then we would know that that's 40. The other way of doing it would be to say to take 70 degrees plus the measure of angle DBC, and that would equal 110, and then you would subtract to get the 40 as well. Either way, okay, angle addition. So, angle addition postulate says that parts of an angle can be added together to find the measure of the whole angle. Okay, so as we just did up above, okay, the difference is we're only using no numbers yet, right? The general equation only uses the variables in the problem. So we say the measure of ABD, angle ABD, plus the measure of angle DBC is equal to the measure of ABC, the whole big angle. That's our general equation. What's our reason for that? Angle addition, right? Okay. Once you go ahead and make your substitution then for what we know a measure of angle ABD and DBC are, add those to get the 100 degrees. Okay, and then what about angle B? What would be the general equation? This is underneath this one, underneath A in our notes here, underneath my paper here is B. So go ahead and write down there if you know it, the general equation. Okay, and that should be the measure of angle ABD plus the measure of angle DBC is equal to the measure of angle ABC. Okay, reason, angle addition, postulate, or angle addition. Okay, make the substitution. And then at that point, you can subtract your 70 to get 40 degrees. Okay. Next 2, we didn't have examples up above for you. Okay, so linear pair, what's linear mean? Okay. Remember, linear just means it's a line, right? Linear is a line. 2 angles that are adjacent and form a straight line are called linear pairs. Okay, 2 angles that are adjacent and form a straight line. Okay. The linear pair theorem says that 2 angles that form a linear pair add up to 180 degrees. 2 angles that form a linear pair, so two angles that form a line, add up to 180 degrees. So, using the figure at the left, the measure of angle JHI equals 50 degrees. Okay. Find the measure of angle GHJ. So this is the one we're trying to find the measure of. GHJ. You could put in X. I put in a question mark. You could put in X or whatever because we're going to call it the measure of angle GHJ. Okay. So what's the general equation? Well, we know that this angle plus this angle equals what? Yes, 180 degrees. So we can say for the general angle that the measure of angle GHJ plus the measure of angle JHI equals 180 degrees. That's our general equation. Okay, then two angle measures add up to 180 degrees. Okay. Reason, linear pair theorem. Substitute what we know, the 50 degrees is the measure of angle JHI, and 180 degrees is what we know they add up to equal. So when we subtract 50 from both sides, we get 130 degrees for the measure of angle GHJ. Okay, so next we're going to go do a couple of examples here. Okay, so our first example, number 1 on the next page. Okay, so going back to labeling the diagram, write the general equation and provide the reason. Okay, so measure of angle ABC is 128 degrees. So ABC is 128 degrees. I have colored pens, so I marked that angle. Measure of angle ABD is already written in there as 6x plus 11. If it's not, you need to write it in there. The measure of angle DBC is 6x plus 9. Same thing. If it weren't already written in there, you would need to write it in there. 9 degrees, you can hardly see there. Okay, I did underline again that I want you to find x. Okay, so what's our general equation going to say? Okay, our general equation is going to say the measure of angle ABD plus the measure of angle DBC equals not 180 because it's not a line, right? It equals 128 is what we were told up here, right? And that is the angle addition postulate. Okay, at that point, we're ready to go ahead and make our substitutions of 6x plus 11 and 6x plus 9, and then our 128. There we go. Combine like terms to simplify this mess on the left here to 12x plus 20. So subtract your 20. Okay, and then divide by 12, and it gives us x equals 9, which in fact is what it asked us to do. Okay, remember we did example 2 yesterday. So we're going to go down to example 3. Okay, measure of angle PAR is 13x plus 5. It's written in there. The measure of angle RAT is 20x plus 5. And the measure of angle PAT is 30x. Again, because of lack of room, 30x plus 22 is my full angle measure in there. And again, I want you to find x, okay? So we can do that by using our angle addition and saying that the measure of angle PAR plus the measure of angle RAT equals the measure of angle PAT. And while we don't know the numerical value of each of those, we have an algebraic expression to use. So there's the general equation I was just saying. Oh gosh, you guys, I didn't realize I was not up there. I'm sorry. There's my general equation. We already said it was angle addition, and then we make our substitution. So PAR is 13x plus 5. RAT is 20x plus 5. PAT is 30x plus 22. So simplify the mess on the left. The 33x plus 10 equals what's on the right. I subtracted 30x from each side, so then I took my 10 from here. Because then these cancel and these cancel, leaving me with 3x plus 12, so that when I divide by 3, I get 4. In this case, again, it asked me just to find the x value. Okay, so So that is where we are at right now. Okay. And then the last example asks me to find x if the measure of FAS is 6x plus 8, measure of angle SAT is 4x plus 27, and it wants me to find x. Okay, so we can use this using the linear pair theorem because the measure of angle FAS plus the measure of angle SAT equals 180 because the two angles together equal a line, which is 180 degrees. So there's my general equation. Okay, again, I already mentioned the linear pair theorem is my reason. So now I can go ahead and make my substitutions. Okay, so my 6x plus 8 plus my 4x plus 27 is equal to my 180 degrees. Add like terms on the left there, giving me 10x plus 35 equals 180, so subtract your 35, and then divide by 10, and I get that x is 14.5. And a reminder, it did ask us to just find x, okay? And I will again remind you that if it asks you to find the measure of angle SAT, after you find x, you can certainly do that. You just have to go plug in 14.5 for x, and then recalculate. Okay, so that, my dear friends, takes care of 3 of our 6 ideas that you will need to be able to apply to write equations to solve for missing values and or angles using algebra. You should now be able to completely finish your homework 6 assignment.